Today we're going to look at the Google Nest Wi-Fi. I've seen so many different names, but anyway, that's what it is. And so I purchased this at Best Buy today for $199. It was $70 off. It looked like it was a fairly new sale. And they were out of one of the three colors, so I decided to go ahead and get this. Going to put it in a home with multiple levels, multiple stories, so we'll see how it works. Packaging is awesome, by the way. This particular set has a router and a point. So there's a router, and then the mesh part of it would be another point. So this is exactly how I'm going to set it up on from the living room and then up into an office on the second floor. And you can see there's two items. One is the router and the other one is the point. And by the way, the point has Google Assistant built into it also. And I think I'm saying that right, is that it's in the point, not the router. But it might be in both. And anyway, not a whole lot more to go with it. It's very simple, apparently, to use, and I already have some Google Home products, so it's going to be easy to set up. And this is expandable, so I have a router and a hub point, but I can continue to expand that if this doesn't work. And it's a mesh Wi-Fi. AC 2200, and there's two of them, as I had mentioned. Smart home connectivity. It has dual gigabit, so it just decides what the best is that you need, whether it's 2.4 or 5.0. Security, of course, is built in. And let's take a look at it. It's heavy, by the way. This box is heavy. I don't think it's going to be very easy to open, but we'll give it a try and see if I could keep you on while I open it. And here we go. We're almost there, believe it or not. And here we go. Oh, I don't like the fact that, I don't know, I guess I did that. So there's not much to this, as you've already expected, but here is, I think that's the router. And this is the point, or is it vice versa? I think this is, yeah, this is the router, because you could see it's got the two Ethernet ports here. So one in, one out. And it's got a rubberized base, so the base is pretty good. It won't slip. And it's as simple as that. So router. And again, this is the point, and it looks like this just has a simple switch, and that would be for a voice mute on off switch here. And microphones on the top. You could see hopefully you could see that there's 4 microphones, and the speaker must be right here on the bottom. So the next thing you'll see is us set it up. Let me just make sure there's nothing else in here, but there is. There is a let's get started manual. And you also get power for both. So that's all this is going to be power. So you can see here's the plug. And that's it, nothing else. And I think, though it does show, could it in fact have another cable? So this came with it also. And let's see if we could find out what's in here. Well, a flat cable, Ethernet cord. I can always use this, so that's great. So it comes with an Ethernet cable for this. So that's awesome. I'll put that there. And here is one other item. No, it's not. It is just packing, to be honest with you. So we have the power cable for the point. So we have 2 power cables. And I'm just confirming that, in fact, there's nothing else. And there is nothing else. That's it. The rest is in there. So that's it. We have our router here. We have our point with Google Assistant. We have power cords, 2 power cords, and we have the Ethernet cable. So that's it in a nutshell. We are getting ready to install our new Nest Wi-Fi router and point. So here's what it's going to replace. This is a Netgear Nighthawk. It's actually served me well. I only use it as an access point, and so here is from my ISP their modem and router. So I use that for the hardwire, but this is where I do the Wi-Fi from. So I am going to replace this with the Nest Wi-Fi. So here we go with our installation. So here's the underside of the router, and as you can see, a couple things you need is, one, that barcode, the QR tag is going to become important to register it and get it going. And there's 2 Ethernet ports. The one on the left would be the port coming from the ISP's modem, and this would be to connect an Ethernet to it, which I think I am going to connect. I think I know what I'm going to connect there, one item. So this will be the first step, is to set this up. So I'm going to go ahead now and disconnect my old one and see you in a moment. So unlike the last time, instead of having it down here, I'm going to go ahead and place it. It had suggested it be placed at eye level, so I'm going to put it up in this area here. And it doesn't really have anything next to it that is Wi-Fi, except maybe the printer. So there's the wide area network, the Ethernet cable coming, that will eventually click into my router. And here is the power, which I'm going to plug in a moment. And with those 2 things, we will begin the process. I have plugged in the router, and so far what I have is, though you probably can't see it, right there is a small white light on the router. I've not yet done anything else. So the next thing I'm going to do is go to the Home app, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to be on the Home app here, and right now I just have my Nest thermostats on it, and I'm going to add a device, and it says set up a device. I'm going to set up a new device here. And so it's going to look for devices. They found a Wi-Fi router. Isn't that a coincidence? That's good news. So yes. Camera permission. So I need to scan that code that I had showed you earlier. So I'm going to allow it to scan. So there it is, and it says it's scanned. So right now it says it's connecting. So all it's connecting right now, I believe, is the actual app. Now it says to check the WAN connection. It says it's not plugged in, which is true. I haven't done that, so just a moment. I have plugged in the WAN connection, and so let's go to next. And it says it's checking, so it at least knows that it's now plugged in. I don't know what that is. It says connected, though I don't know what it's connected to. I'm going to put Office. So I told it it's here in the office. Wi-Fi name. So just a moment, we'll be right back. Now it's asking me a series of questions. I don't know if it's connected yet, but I've put in the Wi-Fi information. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. It's creating my Wi-Fi network in those nice Google colors. It says almost done, so I don't know if it's yet found the network, but as you could see, so I've used the same network that it was prior because of all of the IoT items that I actually have, and I don't want to be switching all of those names. So let's see what happens as it continues to set up the network. I'll be right back. This step I may have not done properly, but we'll see. It had me tap, but when I did tap, it didn't actually say I was on the right network. So I'm going to shut this off for a minute and let this continue and see what happens. Well, we're going to now test it because it appears that it's saying I'm connected. It gave me some information. Google's hardware products. There is an update, and it says it's going to take 5 to 10 minutes. So we'll be back to you in a moment before we do a speed test and see if we're actually connected. This says that the Wi-Fi is now up to date. It took about 3 minutes. And so let's see if Wi-Fi is on here. I don't see it yet. Wi-Fi, and there it is. So far it says there's 23 devices connected to it, and there will be more, and here's what the devices are. So I am now going to go up here, and you can see my phone is on it. So I'm going to go do an internet test. Check this out and see. My speed should be around 110 down, and up usually varies a bit, but hopefully up would be in the 50-60 neighborhood. So let's see how this is doing. Not as fast as I expected, but it's close to 100. And this time of day, it's actually around 4 o'clock. This is not my best time. This number is not good at all, the upload. So I might have to do some work to see what's going on here with the settings. So we'll stay on top of this. I just ran the internet speed on the Home app, the Google Home app, and it is much more what I expected. So I'm going to go ahead and run it again on speed test so we could take a look. In the meantime, you could see it's all set up and sitting there. So here's speed test again. And so let me go ahead and test this and see if these numbers jump up any better. And they did. We are there. So next step is we're going to set up a point. But as you could see, we are in great shape right now on our Wi-Fi. This is our worst room. This is about 3 rooms away. So we're going to run the test here and see what happens. So here we go. This one is usually significantly slower, but it's not. And as I said, it's a pretty good amount of rooms away. It's running at a really reasonable speed. And to give you an idea, that room all the way at the end, with the door open on the left, is on the furthest wall is where the router is. So this is acting very good. Here's where we are now. We're going to locate the point over in that area there, which is 1 floor and 2 rooms below the router. And just to check, I'm going to go ahead, let me move this camera a bit like this, and let's do a speed test in this room. Speed test here. I didn't want to show the password. So here comes the test. This will also show you how long the test takes. It actually takes a bit of time. for the Google speed test. So it did the download. Now it's doing the upload, and we'll see how good that router is upstairs. If you remember, we were in the 115 down and the 60 up range. So this says the test is complete, and pretty good, isn't it? Here we go again with our installation. So we're going to install the point. As you can see here, you can see the microphones for Google Assistant are located on the top. There's 4 microphones there. We're going to need to keep that QR tag. We have the power is going to go there, and we have Google Assist microphone on and off. So let's go ahead and plug it in. So I plugged it in. Let me let that light up. So now I'm going to set up a device. Here. And it's looking for devices. Guess what I found? The Nest point.
Hi. To get started, use the Google Home app on a phone or tablet. The mic's off.
So it says it scanned the code. I'll turn the mic on.
The mic's back on.
So it's connecting. So I'll shut this off for a moment until it connects. Okay, it asked me if I heard the sound. I did hear a sound. Here are some legal terms. I will help Google. And this is in the dining room. Next. So now it's connecting to the Wi-Fi. We'll let it do that. Be right back. If it takes too long, of course, we'll edit this out for you. Hey Google, what time is it?
It's 4:41 p.m.
Hey Google, will it rain tomorrow?
No, it won't rain tomorrow in Lexington. It'll be partly cloudy with a high of 89 and a low of 69.
So as you could see, Google Assistant works fine. You saw the lights that were underneath. And right now everything is set up. We're going to do one test here, speed test, and see what you think. And that should do it for now. So let's take a look at a speed test. And it's finding a server, so just a second, it found one. So let's see what we got. Uh-oh. Well, this room would never have gotten this high, so it's over 100. 102. So this is actually really good. And the upload is perfect. So as I said, this is quite a ways away from the router. I'm now in the basement. So and this is the furthest point from the router that's that I put in, and this is directly under the point that I just installed. So let's see what we've got. Let's test again. Perfect. I know you think that the number's low, but that's perfect. The issue I've always had is that camera there constantly loses service, and as you could see, that service is okay. Someday I may want to put another point in for that, but both the download and the download and upload are fine.